Many shampoos today, there is a chemical and it's called sodium lauryl sulfate. And sodium lauryl sulfate makes it foam and it kills hair follicles. It's important to buy shampoo that doesn't have sodium lauryl sulfate because that certainly can contribute to hair loss. A great thing that you can do with your hair that will really nourish it and help it is about once a month just rub coconut oil into your scalp and also pull it through your hair and bind your hair up. Just bind it up and leave it there all day. At the end of the day, shampoo it out. That's very nourishing for the scalp. What about dandruff? Dandruff can often happen when using shampoo with sodium lauryl sulfate. It can also happen when a person's on a high sugar diet because that basically feeds the dandruff.
Did you know that the average shampoo bottle contains chemicals that could trigger allergic reactions, disrupt hormones, and even increase your cancer risk? Yes. Dr. Barbara O'Neill uncovers the dark side of your daily hair care routine, revealing 5 dangerous chemicals lurking in your shampoo. These toxic ingredients are not just harmful, they're linked to serious health issues and environmental damage. In this urgent warning, discover why what you've been washing your hair with could be silently sabotaging your health and what you can do to protect yourself and your family. Dr. Barbara O'Neill warns of the dangers posed by sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS, particularly in hair care products like shampoos.
Us ladies like to have a shampoo. So I'll tell you something to be cautious of, and that is sodium lauryl sulfate. Sodium lauryl sulfate is what causes the foaming action in most shampoos. And sodium lauryl sulfate kills the hair follicles. So we don't want our hair follicles to die. So it's important to take a magnifying glass into the supermarket with you and have a look for sodium lauryl sulfate. You might find that if you go to places like Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, there will be some more natural type shampoos and conditioners.
She emphasizes that SLS, as a surfactant, is widely used for its ability to create foam and effectively cleanse the scalp and hair.
Do you know something very toxic most people don't realize is bleach? And one of the most toxic combination is bleach and mold. And what do most people kill bleach with? Mold with? Bleach. So what are we going to kill mold with? White vinegar. It'll kill mold and it won't kill you. That's the good news. So have a look at what's in your laundry cupboard. Have a look at what's in your toothpaste, in your shampoos, your conditioners, your laundry detergent, what you're washing your dishes with. What's in your food? What's in your clothes?
However, its aggressive detergent properties strip the scalp of its natural oils, leading to an imbalance in the scalp's microbiome. This not only causes dryness, but also triggers irritation and inflammation, particularly in individuals with sensitive skin. According to Dr. O'Neill, this stripping effect can compromise the scalp's protective barrier, allowing external irritants to penetrate more easily, which increases susceptibility to chronic irritation and even infections. Repeated exposure to SLS has also been linked to long-term damage to the hair follicles, which can result in hair thinning over time. Dr. O'Neill explains that one of the major issues with SLS is its potential to exacerbate underlying scalp conditions. For individuals already experiencing scalp sensitivity, conditions such as dandruff or seborrheic dermatitis may worsen with regular use of products containing SLS. The disruption of the scalp's natural oil production can lead to overcompensation by sebaceous glands, further aggravating oil imbalance and promoting scalp irritation. In some cases, this can also cause itchiness and the formation of red, inflamed patches on the scalp, which Dr. O'Neill identifies as early signs of long-term scalp damage. As this cycle continues, the hair becomes more prone to breakage and shedding, and the scalp environment becomes hostile to healthy hair growth. Furthermore, Dr. O'Neill highlights that prolonged use of shampoos with SLS can weaken the hair shaft. When the hair is repeatedly stripped of its natural oils, the cuticle layer that protects the hair fibers becomes more brittle. This makes the hair more vulnerable to environmental damage, such as exposure to UV rays and pollution, further contributing to hair loss. Over time, SLS can lead to hair thinning by weakening both the hair strands and the follicles that anchor them to the scalp. Dr. O'Neill stresses that those experiencing unexplained hair loss should consider switching to sulfate-free shampoos, which are less likely to cause these issues. She points out that although sulfate-free alternatives might not produce the same foamy lather, they provide a gentler cleansing experience without the risk of stripping the scalp of its essential oils. Barbara O'Neill strongly advises against the continued use of SLS-containing products, particularly for those who value their scalp health and wish to prevent hair loss. Dr. Barbara O'Neill highlights the hidden dangers of parabens, which are commonly found in hair care products. Parabens, synthetic chemicals used as preservatives to prevent the growth of bacteria and mold, are not inert substances. They mimic estrogen in the body, which can lead to significant hormonal imbalances. O'Neill emphasizes that this estrogenic effect is a key factor in the growing concern over parabens, particularly as they are classified as endocrine disruptors. These disruptors interfere with the normal functioning of hormones, which regulate everything from metabolism to reproductive health. The estrogen-mimicking properties of parabens have been linked to an increased risk of breast cancer, as they can stimulate the proliferation of breast cells, which is a hallmark of cancer development. O'Neill explains that these synthetic compounds are absorbed directly through the skin, and when used in everyday products such as shampoos, conditioners, and lotions, they can accumulate in the body over time. Research has shown that parabens can be detected in human tissue, including breast tissue, which raises serious concerns about long-term exposure, especially since they have also been found in biopsy samples of breast tumors. This correlation points to a potential risk, though the full extent of their contribution to cancer is still being investigated. However, O'Neill stresses that this link should not be ignored, as the cumulative effect of multiple daily exposures to parabens may pose a significant threat to health. Additionally, parabens are associated with reproductive issues. They disrupt hormone signaling pathways, which can lead to fertility problems, lower sperm counts in men, and complications during pregnancy. Exposure to parabens can disrupt hormone levels, which might harm reproductive health, especially if you're exposed from a young age or for a long time. O'Neill suggests being cautious with products containing methylparaben, ethylparaben, propylparaben, and butylparaben, as these are the most common types. Even though regulations allow small amounts of parabens, many products, like shampoos, cosmetics, and moisturizers, contain them. This means people are exposed to a mix of parabens every day. Over time, even low doses can build up in the body and affect the endocrine system. O'Neill recommends opting for paraben-free products because the skin absorbs these chemicals into the bloodstream. Dr. Barbara O'Neill raises critical concerns about formaldehyde-releasing agents in shampoos, such as DMDM hydantoin and quaternium-15, which gradually release formaldehyde over time. These chemicals, used as preservatives, are known to keep cosmetic products shelf-stable, but they come with significant health risks. Formaldehyde itself is a well-documented carcinogen, and its presence in everyday hair care products exposes users to potential harm through prolonged repeated use. Dr. O'Neill points out that even in trace amounts, the cumulative exposure to formaldehyde is worrisome, as the body absorbs these chemicals through the scalp and skin. One of the immediate dangers associated with formaldehyde-releasing agents is their capacity to trigger allergic reactions. Users with sensitive skin are particularly vulnerable, experiencing symptoms such as rashes, redness, and irritation after using shampoos containing these compounds. Over time, this can lead to chronic skin conditions like dermatitis. Respiratory issues also arise, as formaldehyde vapor is released into the air when these products are used, especially in hot, steamy environments like showers. Inhaling formaldehyde can cause symptoms such as coughing, wheezing, and difficulty breathing, particularly for individuals with asthma or other respiratory conditions. Dr. O'Neill stresses the importance of understanding the link between these chemicals and cancer. Formaldehyde exposure, particularly when sustained over years, increases the risk of developing cancers such as nasopharyngeal cancer and leukemia. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, has classified formaldehyde as a Group 1 carcinogen, meaning there is sufficient evidence of its carcinogenicity in humans. For many consumers, the presence of these formaldehyde-releasing agents in personal care products represents an insidious risk, as they may not immediately recognize the danger these ingredients pose. Formaldehyde-releasing agents like DMDM hydantoin, quaternium-15, and others slowly degrade, releasing small but harmful amounts of formaldehyde each time a shampoo is applied. Dr. O'Neill notes that manufacturers often use these agents as a cost-effective way to prevent microbial contamination in cosmetic products, but the potential health consequences far outweigh the benefits. This slow release means that even products labeled as safe or gentle may expose users to long-term health risks. Furthermore, formaldehyde's potential to react with other chemicals in shampoos can create additional toxic compounds, exacerbating its harmful effects on the body. Barbara O'Neill raises important concerns about phthalates, which are chemicals often hidden under the term fragrance on product labels. These chemicals can disrupt the endocrine system, which manages our hormones.
Sometimes I see hair loss in a hormonal imbalance. So if it's a hormonal imbalance, then the hormones must be balanced back again. And that's where the Anna's Wild Yam cream. I have a presentation on balancing the hormones, and you can Google my name and watch that, and it will show you that the Anna's Wild Yam cream is a cream that when it's regularly applied twice a day, it balances those hormones back and can cause that hair to grow back again. Sometimes high stress, if someone goes through a very stressful situation, one of the reactions can be hair loss. So what can you do to bring it back again? There's one more that I didn't mention, and that's anemia. If a person is anemic, it can cause hair loss. So what's anemic? Anemic means very low iron in the blood. And anemia can be caused because of heavy blood loss at period time. A lot of women suffer from that, and that can cause anemia, and the anemia can cause the hair loss. Another cause of anemia can be low hydrochloric acid, because iron is bound up in food and it needs acid to liberate it from food. So it's very important that the person ensure they have nice strong hydrochloric acid. A simple way to ensure that is to have a quarter of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper in a little bit of water before every meal. If you're finding that a little bit hard, you can have the juice of a lemon before every meal. Important to leave a break between meals. Important not to drink water with your meals because that dilutes the hydrochloric acid. Also important to have a very happy, relaxed environment at the meal table.
Phthalates can mimic or interfere with natural hormones, leading to health issues like infertility, early puberty, and developmental problems, particularly affecting pregnant women and children. Phthalates are commonly used in a wide range of personal care products, including shampoos, lotions, and perfumes, due to their ability to make scents last longer. O'Neill highlights that their widespread use has made it increasingly difficult for consumers to avoid exposure. These chemicals enter the body not only through inhalation, but also through direct absorption via the skin, making regular use of phthalate-containing products a continuous source of toxic buildup. Phthalates have been found in high concentrations in people who use these products daily, with studies showing that pregnant women with elevated levels of phthalates in their bodies are at higher risk of complications such as preterm birth, gestational diabetes, and low birth weight in their infants. The dangers are even more pronounced for unborn children, as phthalates can cross the placenta and affect fetal development. Animal studies have shown that phthalates can cause malformations in the reproductive organs of male offspring, and O'Neill cautions that similar effects may be occurring in humans, even though the full extent of the damage might not be immediately visible. O'Neill also explains that children are particularly vulnerable to phthalate exposure due to their developing bodies and hormonal systems. Phthalates have been linked to a range of developmental and behavioral issues in children, including reduced cognitive function, attention deficit disorders, and an increased risk of childhood obesity. O'Neill stresses that avoiding these chemicals is not simply a matter of personal choice, but a necessary step in protecting future generations from long-term health consequences. She advises individuals to scrutinize product labels rigorously, especially those that list fragrance as an ingredient, as this often serves as a cover for the inclusion of phthalates. Polyethylene glycols, PEGs, are synthetic compounds commonly used in personal care products, especially shampoos and conditioners, as thickeners and moisture carriers. Dr. Barbara O'Neill points out that while PEGs enhance the texture and application of these products, they carry significant health risks due to their ability to increase skin permeability. This property, though useful for allowing beneficial ingredients to penetrate the skin more effectively, also opens the door for harmful substances to enter the body. Dr. O'Neill is particularly concerned with the contamination of PEGs by toxic byproducts like ethylene oxide and 1,4-dioxane, both of which are known carcinogens. Ethylene oxide, used in the manufacturing process of PEGs, is highly toxic. It has been classified as a carcinogen by regulatory bodies such as the International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC. Exposure to even small amounts of ethylene oxide over time can lead to an increased risk of cancer, as well as reproductive toxicity and developmental issues. This chemical is not intentionally added to the products, but remains as a residue from the production process, making it difficult to detect or remove. Similarly, 1,4-dioxane is a byproduct that forms during the manufacturing process and is also linked to cancer. Dr. O'Neill emphasizes the seriousness of this contamination, as 1,4-dioxane is not only harmful to human health but is also an environmental pollutant, contaminating water supplies and contributing to long-term ecological damage. This makes the widespread use of PEG-containing products doubly concerning, as it affects both individual health and the broader environment. Dr. O'Neill stresses that the dangers associated with PEGs extend beyond just these contaminants. PEG's ability to enhance skin permeability means that they increase the absorption of all the ingredients in a product, including harmful ones like parabens, synthetic fragrances, and other chemical additives. This effect is particularly worrisome because many consumers are unaware of the cumulative impact of these ingredients. When PEGs are present, they amplify the penetration of other harmful chemicals into deeper layers of the skin and potentially into the bloodstream, raising the risk of systemic toxicity. This makes PEG-containing products especially dangerous for individuals with sensitive skin or conditions like eczema, as their compromised skin barriers allow for even greater absorption of toxic substances. Furthermore, while PEGs are marketed as moisture carriers, Dr. O'Neill points out that they can have a counterproductive effect by stripping the skin of its natural oils over time. Instead of hydrating the skin, PEGs may disrupt the skin's natural moisture balance, leading to dryness, irritation, and long-term damage to the skin barrier. This is particularly concerning for people who use these products frequently, as the cumulative effects can exacerbate skin conditions rather than improve them. Dr. O'Neill advises caution when selecting personal care products, urging consumers to read labels carefully and avoid ingredients like PEGs, which may be listed under various names such as PEG 4, PEG 6, PEG 8, or PEG 100.
We had a man do our program a few years ago and he had orange curly hair, a big orange beard. He said, I always wash my hair with sodium bicarbonate. I wash my body with sodium bicarbonate. I wash my clothes with sodium bicarb. See, when you buy washing powder, it's mostly sodium bicarbonate. So sodium bicarbonate can be used. I don't know whether I would wash my hair with sodium bicarbonate. Us ladies like to have a shampoo. So I'll tell you something to be cautious of, and that is sodium lauryl sulfate. Sodium lauryl sulfate is what causes the foaming action in most shampoos. And sodium lauryl sulfate kills the hair follicles. So we don't want our hair follicles to die. So it's important to take a magnifying glass into the supermarket with you and have a look for sodium lauryl sulfate. You might find that if you go to places like Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, there will be some more natural type shampoos and conditioners. I always coconut oil my hair probably every 3 months. I put the coconut oil into it and I leave it for a whole day. And then at the end of the day, I wash it out and I have a shampoo that is a coconut oil based shampoo. You can get some very nice coconut oil based shampoos. It's very nourishing to the scalp, very nourishing to the hair.
The hidden dangers of these compounds make them a significant concern for anyone aiming to maintain both their skin's health and their overall well-being. So, will you rethink your hair care routine? Have you checked your labels yet? Let me know in the comments below. The most common chemical in any shampoo that damages your hair the most is sodium lauryl sulfate, or SLS. This is one of the biggest reasons behind your rapid hair loss. Want to know more about this and how to protect your hair from it? Click on this video.